Hey guys, thank you guys for joining me on another episode of Self Reflection Podcast. I hope that this conversation finds you guys well today. Today on Self Reflection Podcast, we're doing things a little bit different. So we're excited for this conversation as well. But before we get into our conversation, I want to ask you, if you have yet to subscribe to Self Reflection Podcast, please go ahead and hit that subscription button as we look to grow our community here. Also, thanks to everyone that has subscribed to Self Reflection Podcast, that's listening to Self Reflection Podcast, and also all the reviews that you guys have left us. It means so much to me as we continue to grow Self Reflection Podcast. Today, we have our guest here. From AfroFEST last year. AfroFEST is something that I started last year, and I was extremely blessed to have you guys, come on AfroFEST, do it for free, give me your time, help me out, create I want to say a memory that I'm never going to forget. I think AfroFEST has been a big highlight in my life, and I couldn't have done it without you guys being there and showing up and sharing your talent with us and just making AfroFest what it was, because I still hear people talk about AfroFest up to today, and I cannot have done it without you guys. So thank you so much. And also thank you for joining me on Self Reflection Podcast and creating the time to just be here. We're gonna just go down the row and you guys introduce yourself to our audience here, and then we'll get in our conversation.
My name is Yodele. I'm from Nigeria. I make Afro beats. I'm a nerd on the side.
My name is Kai. My artist name is Kai Azana. I was born in Oakland, California. I do a little bit of everything, but primarily R&B. I produce as well. You will hear some pop coming from me. I do dabble in a little bit of Afrobeat. So yeah, I just love music. I'm also now a certified personal trainer and group fitness instructor. So tap in with me.
Trying to get your fit on.
Interested in your fitness journey.
Yeah.
And, leveling up.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Pope Flynn. My main name actually is, official name is Paul Sean Flynn Aka. I'm from Ghana, West Africa. I'm a professional musician, a dance instructor, a choreographer, and I've been, I'm a member of, faculty at St. Mary's College, and I've been there like maybe forever. But prior to that, I was at UC Berkeley, and then I teach children of all ages, TKs, kindergartners, first graders to 8, and then of course college students. And I'm also a professional musician, play keyboard, a master drummer. That's about it.
Before we get into your personal music, right, I want to open up a question about like your experience at AfroFest.
I thought it was a great experience, really. Everybody was really nice. Of course, we love, food being provided, food and drinks. That's always nice. But yeah, everybody was really supportive and cool to chat with. And yeah, there was a lot of talent. It was cool to witness, because I wasn't aware of like most of them.
Yeah.
So it's always nice to, discover and connect with new artists and people who appreciate it.
Yeah, one of the things that I like was like the intimacy, the people that were there, the caliber of people that were there. This guy really destroyed the instruments. I won't forget him. Yeah, like the whole event was nice in general. She mentioned the food too. Yeah, memorable in short.
For the first time event, it was very creative. It was a surprise, and too bad we didn't have a lot of people, because it was not highly publicized and stuff. But the people who showed up really showed up, and they got involved, and it was beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't want to leave even at the end.
Yeah.
So, and the variety of music that you showcased was very, very, very special.
Unlike the traditional music, you don't see that often. It was really nice. Yeah. And also, I enjoyed modeling.
Yeah, I want to say thank you so much for modeling, because I was like, I need some people right now, you know, because people cancel on me last minute, and I cannot thank you enough and the other girls for just saying, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I think you guys made. I was so stressed out. Let me just say it like that.
No, but so you put it together.
Yeah.
Like, that was good.
So thank you. When it comes down to music, how did you guys all get into music personally?
Started off in boarding school. I went to Nigeria, Idris Premier College. And on Sundays, we'll have like a Sunday service. And as part of we had to organize it as like students, as boarding house students. So some of the things we'll do is like have special number. And there, you know, I had this, me and two other boys, it was called GSB Group. And we would always rock every Sunday, you know, with like music and all that stuff. When I left boarding school in Nigeria, came out to America, I had to focus on my school, you know. But I needed music as like an escape. It was like, it helped me develop figure out the other side of me, because I'm a nerd on one side, right? And I needed to like figure out, hey, I want to be out and, you know, just how do I express myself without something that's not related to books. So that was like my own escape. And then over time, I played the guitar in school. I had a couple of shows, and it just kept on building up like that until, you know, I had a couple of big performances with some artists, met a couple people. And then now I'm here, you know, I see the life already.
Yeah.
I started out actually playing the violin. So I played the violin pretty much like all my childhood. But I always loved to sing. Like, it was like a passion of mine. I was kind of like scared. And my sister was like the one who was like the singer, basically. And like, I could sing, but I don't know. She was just like, I guess, I don't know if I like felt like that was her thing. I don't know what made me like scared to really pursue it. I think I was like nervous. I don't know. But she's the one who like taught me how to harmonize and, you know, just taught me how to really like sing in tune. And then of course, when I started making music, I continued to develop. And then that also like the violin like trained my ear as well.
In my case, I used to have a very low registered voice, and when I was a kid, I didn't even want to open my mouth and sing because, you know, feel shy. I mean, a little guy with just big voice, you know. So, so then an uncle of mine, he was a professional tailor, you know, and he called me one day and said, "Hey, so why don't you? Are you in the school choir?" I said, "No." So why not? So you hear my voice, it's too bad. I said, "No. What do you mean it's bad?" I said, "Well, it's not bad, but it's too low.
Yeah.
I can sing high registers." And so you start low and step by step build it up, and your vocal cords will open up, and then you start, you know. And I was living in a village, in a very small village with about let's say the population was about 350 people, you know. So he encouraged me, and I said, "Okay, I'll try it." And I joined the school choir. Well, my friend, you know, used to tease me a lot, you know, Mr. Bassman, you know, something like that. But as time went on, you know, I started singing alto and all that. So when I moved to the urban centers like Takoradi, which is like a city, and I began listening to all kinds of music from the States and London stuff. And I was actually influenced by great people like Nat King Cole, Sam Cooke.
That's one of my biggest influences.
Yeah, Ray Charles was my papa, you know. And then, of course, Stevie Wonder. I saw Stevie Wonder the first time in a movie. And so, who is this little guy singing like that? So from there on, you know, and to make a long story short, I became the James Brown of Ghana, West Africa. I was like, I was on high heels, and my band was one of the best, and we performed all over.
Yeah.
We traveled London, Germany, So finally, I decided to come to the state because that was my childhood dream.
Mm-hmm.
So I was invited here by the YMCA, the Oakland YMCA. The president came to Ghana to initiate a sister city program. So Takoradi, the city that I grew up on, became the sister city to Oakland.
Mm.
So thereon, he invited me to come over, and I was able to ambassador for the public schools, the public colleges,
Yes.
Laney, Mills, and So thereon, I became what do you call it? An American musician, whatever you call it. I went back home, and I was invited to come back because of the work I did.
Yeah.
So I talk a lot, so sorry. So,
I feel like I didn't say enough at all.
Yeah. No, it's great. Yeah.
Too many stories to tell.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for joining us on Self-Reflection Podcast. If you have not subscribed to Self-Reflection Podcast, please go ahead and hit the subscription button. I'll greatly appreciate it. If you are just joining us, we are having a panel discussion here. And I'm going to turn it back to you guys and ask you, what has been one of the biggest challenge you guys have faced in this music industry? And I would even say, especially living in the Bay Area.
Just like with anything, money. Mm. So
I hear you on that
one. So, it's one thing to, go in a karaoke bar and sing. It's another thing to use the money from karaoke bar to pay your bills. So when it comes to music as a business, one of the things that you kind of find a lot of people doing, especially if you've not gone to the part where you have like a deal, whether it's what do they call it? A license deal. So where you have your music with an episode or a movie, or if you borrowed money from like a record label because they see something, right? Mm-hmm. So if you don't have that, one of the things you kind of have to worry about is matching, the standard that is already set. One, then marketing your work. And I've heard in a place, so I've met a couple of celebrities that have said, all you really need to do is $250K. So it don't matter what you sound like, if you got enough bar. But let's not remove the love of music using money.
Yeah.
But because we're in an economy where you got to pay your bills and you got to do stuff, that's the only thing that just comes in my opinion. It's like, hey, how do you balance life and this beautiful thing that you're doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. In my own case, that's the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I think my biggest challenge, honestly, it's kind of hard to know who you can trust, being a young Black woman navigating this industry, especially because, it is a pretty male-dominated industry. And, young girls often get taken advantage of, especially when people know that they're, like, wanting something, and, like, there's somebody in a position of power able to give it to them. Thankfully, I feel like, I haven't run into too much trouble with that, but it is still, once again, like, it's just about figuring out, like, who to trust, having, like, discernment, knowing when to walk away, not being afraid to speak up about things. I feel like me speaking up has sometimes gotten me in trouble. I've definitely pissed off some people. Relationships have either fallen out or just are like not what they once were. And, it is what it is, but that can make you get kind of jaded if you're not if you're not resilient And if you're not able to like kind of recenter yourself and recognize you're doing this for you, on top of the fact that it's bigger than you, like you are also doing it for like the world, really. So you just have to be strong in that. And once again, that gets challenging sometimes. Once again, knowing who to trust as a young Black woman navigating this industry, that's still like an independent artist. And then, well, this is where I remember what I was like saying after that. Also, we deal with a lot of people who like don't keep their word, right? Like you may be excited to work with an artist and then like they don't show up or they just like fall off, and then that can also get like, that can be kind of hurtful. And then when you see them like working with other people or like doing other things and you were trying to like set something up, it's like, okay, like what's going on here? Right. And so I would say also like it's easy to like feel alone sometimes. Especially here. I feel like a lot of people I'm realizing like grew up here. So I mean, I feel like I've been kind of like the new kid just trying to like fit in, find my way. Lately I've just been to myself. Thankfully, I now have an at-home studio. So that's my happy place. I really love recording myself. I feel like I work really quickly, really efficiently. I know what I want to hear. Sometimes you have to deal with engineers who like are messing up or just like not taking you seriously. You're having to redo the takes, and whole time sometimes it might have been the best take and they just like weren't attentive because I don't know, who knows. But regardless, no, I don't think that should be happening. But yeah, like when I'm recording myself, I can just catch a mistake, redo it, period. I know what I want to hear, I know what I like. So yeah, I would definitely recommend that, like for artists if you can. So yeah, overall, just you gotta be resilient, and trust in what you're doing. Trust in the gift that's been placed inside of you. I definitely think a relationship with God is important. Navigating this industry, because I mean, you can't count on people. You can't rely on people. Like people are always gonna maybe disappoint you, fall short. Granted, we pray that you're blessed to find a good team and people who support you. But once again, I can't say this enough. But resilience and being grounded like within yourself and your purpose, your gifts. That's key.
Yeah. What about you, Pope? What's your biggest challenge?
Well, the biggest challenge is being a musician from Africa or another part of the world, and you think you are all that, and then you come to the States, and then you realize you ain't nothing because you have to start all over. You have your talent, you have your music, you have all that. But there are people here who are not known, or maybe sitting in the corner, playing saxophone, and they are so talented, and then you go say, "Hey, what's going on?" And climbing up on that ladder to be recognized is not easy, like our sister was saying. It is not, because first of all, there are people who have already made it, and their faces are right there. So you are trying to substitute their faces to yours. It's not easy. You have to really fight hard. I'm a composer, a arranger, and I even got into recording techniques so that, because I spend a lot of money paying, engineers and this and that, and then in the end, they mess the whole music up and you don't make anything out of it. But you spend the money, and nothing comes out of it. So then I decided, okay, maybe the best thing to do is to buy the equipment, especially when MIDI became, accessible, so, okay, now one man can be able to play 2, 3 instruments and like you're a violinist. You play your violin, with a little keys on top, and So step by step, I realized that I have to change the system, and by doing so, I was able to, and like some musicians who knew me back home will come to me and say, "Oh, can you come and jam with us?" Da da da. So okay. So finally, we formed a group, West African High Life Band, and we did a recording that was very successful. But then people started pirating it. They will buy a few copies of the CD and then they will recopy them and selling them in Arlington, Virginia, and all those. It was a hit out there, and we were not getting anything out of it. And we tried the FBI, and it's, oh, this is not a federal case, so you know. So even though they would say, oh, copyright infringement, da 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 da, but when it gets to that point, they would say, oh, yeah, this is not a case. So the hustle keep going. I've done some. I think I have 4 solo albums. I don't know how much I've made out of it. Maybe some few nickels and dimes here and there. But since music is in your blood, you can't stop.
Yeah.
You have to keep on going. So that's what I'm trying to do. So I'm trying to release some 2 albums at the moment. But I was advised that, hey, you can do an album. Just put 2 songs or 1 song and then see what happens. And then you bring another one up, step by step. So I'm releasing 2 albums right now. This month is coming out. And see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you guys look to grow more into this industry, right? What are some things that you guys want to bring to change the industry as musicians?
I think the best thing you can bring is really just your whole self, your authenticity, and just like a genuine spirit, really, because that's hard to come by. And that's another thing, I feel like, because people, I've noticed, they're always trying to get one over on you or test you and something. I'm like, what? Huh? Because I don't do that. And so, yeah, I just feel like, and I'm just speaking for myself now, kind of rambling, whatever. But I feel like I've been misinterpreted, misunderstood so much, and I don't know why. It's really not my business, honestly. People are going to think whatever they want to think, but once again, you just have to be confident in yourself. So that's another thing, your confidence, right? Because that shines, right? People are going to see that. People can see that as soon as you step in the room. So yeah, and then just be unafraid. Don't be afraid to share your ideas, because sometimes when you're in a room with powerful people, you can recoil and not feel comfortable being your full self or sharing. So you have to fight through that. You have to recognize, I deserve to be here. I'm gifted. I'm just as worthy as everybody else, as anybody else. So yeah,
I love that. Yeah.
To top it off, I think whatever. I mean, it said poets have saints. What does that mean? That means that we as musicians, we are messengers. We are just mediums. So the message comes to you, and then you bring it out. Okay. So all the music that is in you, the ideas that you have, nobody has it. So bring it out. The main challenge is how to get it to the mainstream, But now, whether it's a blessing or a curse, we have TikTok and all these media that you can bring it out without any managerial, whatever records, trying to, So, I mean, whatever music you have in you, bring it out. whether through AI or whatever media that you feel you can bring it out and push it, you know, all these medias, you know, and let it go, because maybe somebody in Japan or Honduras or some place, you know, Taiwan, we hear, say, hey, what music is this? And then boom, your star shines. It's one song. You know, one song with good lyrics, with good message, and also the pattern of it, you know, like, you know, the African music, bring it out. She was born here, hip hop, R&B is in your blood. Bring it out. Whatever you bring it out is brand new. It is from the heavens or the, you know, whatever you call it, you know, that is yours. You are the messenger. You bring it out. And as we do that, sooner or later, it will be recognized and say, hey, you don't always have to go to the mainstream, because the real gem, diamond in the rough, right there. Let's go and search for it. You know?
Yeah, people will tell you they're really not pushing like the best music, right? Like, yeah, they're just pushing what people like gravitate towards. Like, they're no, I feel like they're pushing a lot of stupid stuff. People like ignorant stuff, but you know, if you like it, making ignorant music, that's cool. That's cool. I even get down with a little ignorant sometimes, but you know, yeah.
Yeah, what you guys said about the, I'm sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
About the authenticity, I think, to be honest, that's pretty much the only thing you can do. Because the music industry, like she said it, is almost like an individual journey until you build it. Even when you build your team, everybody's still on their own. But it's like, yo, bring your best. Maybe they will just mirror you or copy you. And, you know, the world is a better place. And let's say if I would like to become president someday and I wanted to like change and make a role, I don't know if it would be fun, but I feel like how in the corporate world they have like specific rules, even if we like they play like in the corporate world, it's like there are rules that you play by, even if you don't really agree with it, and if you're not really doing 100%. But there's like some there's like courtesy and like specific ways that you do it in the music industry, because it's like a hustle culture. You could get like stabbed in the back. Yeah. So if I change anything, maybe I'll just set like rules, like, hey, dude, this person, if you're this is how it must go, and this is the way meetings should be organized, and this is the way things should be. But then maybe it might take the fun out of music. I don't know. But, you know, that's my own.
Yeah. And I've heard that there's a lot of competition between the music artists in the Bay Area. Do you guys feel that or no?
I feel like.
Wait, can you define competition? Just so I understand. Well, sorry.
Yeah, like so one artist wants to be at the top and wants to be the only artist, even though the Bay Area doesn't have that big of a music community just yet, because we're growing.
I haven't seen. I mean, personally, I haven't seen that. I know Tanto Majala, Big Clef, and maybe because we're like Nigerian, I like in my head is like we just make music, and they don't competition. No, not in my own opinion. Not in my own opinion. I don't know. Maybe.
And I love the perspective, by the way. That's a good perspective and way to look at it. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I have experienced that just in like in subtle ways, and this takes me back to me saying I've come in this like with a genuine spirit, and I feel like I don't know how to put it into words. I don't want to say too much because I don't want people to be like, "Oh, she's talking about." But like, I just feel like my intentions haven't been, you know, seen the way I'd like them to be, the way I intended them to be, which was just pure, just appreciating you as an artist, appreciating your work, trying to put you on in the ways that I can. And yeah, I feel like that like competitive aspect has like clouded that for whatever reason. Dare I say it's because of my talent? I don't know. It looks not. I don't know what it is, okay? But yeah, I don't know. I mean, because I'm not in this to like compete with anybody. Like I trust what's been placed inside of myself. I'm only trying to, and I don't even want to compete against myself because that sound like stressful. But I'm just trying to grow, every single day. Make each one, better than the last. Be more proud of the next project than the last. So yeah. To sum it up, I do feel like it exists. I feel like that part doesn't really align with me. And yeah, I wish I didn't feel some of the ways I have felt regarding that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I do hope to, foster more healthy relationships, more like, I don't know, unified and consistent relationships where we both recognize, okay, we love doing this.
Yeah.
We have a love for each other, and yeah, we're just making music. And I've had some experiences. Well, I've had some definitely good experiences. But yeah, it's hard, like maintaining relationships sometimes, because also people get busy, people get opportunities, and of course I love that. We all love that, but yeah, you just make it kind of difficult to navigate sometimes. And you have to kind of try not to get your feelings hurt, try not to get too emotional about certain things, which can be challenging, but it can be done. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. As you've been through this journey, what is like who's the person that you have worked with that has inspired you the most through the process that you guys have worked with?
Wow. Well, I think for me, my students, because especially St. Mary's, every spring we have to showcase our work. We have to choreograph a dance, for the dance department. We do a theater, no complete, show where all the parents and friends and students, come in.
Yeah.
And I, my style of teaching is a little bit orthodox because I am also the accompaniment, So I accompany with drums. So I teach it and then go sit down and say, you on your own, And they are so adaptive that, every year I have students that really, and they inspire me. Like this album I'm releasing, for instance, I play the music for them to dance to it. After I teach them on the drums and it's okay. If the real band is playing and you go to a club or whatever to listen to or to dance, how would you apply these dances to that, Yeah, so that, but then they love my music. I don't know what else, flattery but they do. And they will encourage me and say, Pope, you need to release it. They always hounding on me. So those are my inspirators, they're my friends. And then when it comes to the little ones, oh, they put me in check, especially the kindergartners. Oh man. I mean, if I do something Pope, it's not like that, They would just some of them drive me crazy, but they are very lovable, and I think this type of work that I do keeps me young and happy, So that's my inspiration.
Thank you all for joining me on Self Reflection Podcast and for sharing your journey with us. If you guys have one message for anyone that is listening right now about AfroFest, what would you tell them? Because AfroFest might just come back.
So you better be there.
Same thing. Don't miss it.
Don't miss it.
It's a great time.
Yeah, don't miss it.
Yeah,
Just
no
be there
reason not to
because
come.
it's a way of expressing Oakland spirit. You know, because Oakland, we've lost a whole lot of stuff. So I remember when we used to have festival at the lake. Man, that was you guys experienced that or no?
Just
yeah,
a little bit.
no, man. Festival at the lake, it's a week long. It was a week long program. And they have so many stages like jazz stage, that, and then vendors and this and children games. I mean, it was one of the best in the Bay Area. But what happened?
Yeah.
They messed it up. They messed it up, especially especially the people who live around that area. Oh, it is too noisy. And then they will have, all of a sudden, the police comes in. And then they are messing with the kids. You know, the young people say, well, what are you doing? This is a festival. You know? And gradually, they mess it all up.
Yeah.
You know? So something like this is cool. You know? Something like this is very, very real, very simple, low key, but with energy, love, and appreciation. And the kids actually love it because when they come in, if you're able to get it in an outdoor, like in an outdoor settings and something like that, have children in there. I mean, children makes everything better, you know. Yeah, so.
Yeah, unfortunately, AfroFest is not for children.
That's what I'm saying.
This is not for the kids. We might find something else to do for the kids.
Like a little, some corner for them to do their own, little stage storytelling kind of, I'm giving you ideas.
Maybe we'll find a sister program for AfroFest. Thank you guys so much for joining me on Self Reflection Podcast. Also, you don't want to miss out on AfroFest this year. AfroFest is going to be on May 30th. We're still looking at where the venue is going to be, what artists are coming. This year we're going heavily on Afrobeats and African music and deep into the culture. So you don't want to miss AfroFest this year. Again, if you have yet to subscribe to Self Reflection Podcast, please go ahead and hit that subscription button. I greatly appreciate it. And I hope to see you guys at AfroFest. I hope you have a blessed day. Take care of yourself, love yourself, be kind, and be gentle with yourself. Until next time, you're listening to Self Reflection Podcast, and this is your girl, Lira. Ta-da!
Yay!
Tunde Sadu!